Happy Constitution Day, everybody. This is Josie, the redheaded libertarian. You can see the Constitution right above my head, just up there. And we're gonna have a little talk about why it's so important. Of the 42 delegates who attended the meetings for the Constitutional Convention, 39 of them signed the Constitution. The 3 who didn't were George Mason, Edmund Randolph, and Elbridge Gerry. And they all felt that the Constitution lacked a Bill of Rights, which would protect the citizens, as the Constitution structured the new government. Many of the states were nervous about this too. The Anti-Federalists argued that a Bill of Rights was necessary for a number of reasons. Due to the Supremacy Clause, the Necessary and Proper Clause, and the General Welfare Clause, the Anti-Federalists argued that a Bill of Rights would be important because these clauses offered implied powers, and a Bill of Rights would limit those implied powers. The Federalists rejected this idea. However, they were having trouble selling it to the states because many of the states were made up of Anti-Federalists who felt the same. In order to ratify the Constitution, it required 9 of the 13 states to get on board. Georgia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and Connecticut were all quick sells. They got on board almost right away. However, Massachusetts and New York refused to get on board without a Bill of Rights, and Rhode Island was out, as was North Carolina. James Madison, although was a Federalist, was largely in favor of a Bill of Rights. And he had been keeping Thomas Jefferson abreast while he was serving over in France of what was going on, trying to ratify this. And Thomas Jefferson said, well, why don't you write the Bill of Rights? James Madison agreed to do that, and he came up with 17 natural rights and submitted those to Congress. Congress debated those down over 3 months to 12 rights, and then from there, those 12 rights were sent over to the states. And the states decided that they liked 10 of them, and those are the 10 that we have today. James Madison was the father of the Constitution. He was the first to arrive at the Constitutional Convention, actually arriving in May, much earlier than it actually began. He carried with him the blueprint for the U.S. Constitution, which was based largely off of the Articles of the Confederation, which was their interim document that they were using to legislate during the war. And they also pulled from the Magna Carta. James Madison kept a diary of the happenings of the Constitutional Convention. This diary was kept in secret, and it was found later after his death and then sold to the government, who released it to the public in 1840. The Constitutional Convention was a series of closed sessions. So had James Madison never kept the intricate notes that he kept, we would have no idea what happened at the Constitutional Convention. James Madison was the only delegate to attend every single meeting of the Constitutional Convention, and he and George Washington were the only 2 presidents to sign the Constitution. Our Constitution structured our government. It was rules for our government. It set limits for our government. It's not rules for us. It's not a document that we have to agree to. The only people who have to agree to the Constitution are people who serve the government. They take an oath that says that they will not violate that Constitution. And if they violate the Constitution, it's not our job to cry for that. It's our job to get them the hell out of office. So our Constitution was signed 237 years ago today. And George Washington actually issued a proclamation for Thanksgiving. That's why we have Thanksgiving, not because of pilgrims. The proclamation is to honor our Constitution and celebrate it. And it would be a Thanksgiving that would be held on November 26th. Benjamin Franklin famously said, upon leaving the last meeting of the Constitutional Convention, "It's a republic if you can keep it." And I guess this Thanksgiving, let's hope we did. Happy Constitution Day, everybody. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay